All right. To Connie Warren, a resident of the town of Baldwin, in the county of Cumberland, in the state of Maine. I, Deborah Wakefield, town clerk, consistent with the method of notification adopted by the town of Baldwin, certified that at the direction of Connie Warren, I notified the voters of Baldwin of the time and place of the special town meeting by posting a true copy of the within warrant at the town clerk's office, the East Baldwin Post Office, West Baldwin Post Office, and the Baldwin Community Center, a conspicuous public place within Baldwin on April 30th, 2024, which is at least 7 days next prior to election day. You are hereby required to notify one of the inhabitants of the town of Baldwin in said county qualified by law to vote in town affairs to meet at the Baldwin Town Office on Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 at 6 o'clock in the evening, then and there to act on the following articles to wit. Article 1, to choose a moderator for said meeting. Nominations.
I nominate Norman Blake.
Second.
All right, can I get a couple of handwritten notes?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, right here.
So we have to get out.
I always feel normal.
This is where I act excited.
Put your name here. Oh.
Stir them up.
I'm bad. I gotta read your nomination paper.
Uh-oh. It's already been a protest. Do you have any campers or? Probation, but we don't have parole.
Hang on, it looks like it's you.
Oh, we did.
All right. You gotta come up here so I can swear you in. Okay. Norman, do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state so long as you shall continue a citizen thereof, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Do you swear that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent upon you as moderator for the town of Baldwin, according to the Constitution and laws of the state, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Signature, okay.
No, I don't put my name there, do you?
All right, you want your gavel?
Yeah, I should have
Yeah,
one.
absolutely, I have that.
A symbol of authority, such as it is. Article 2, see if the town will vote to approve the amendment to the Town of Baldwin Municipal Employees Personnel Ordinance. Just as a matter of completeness, the town held a public hearing on Tuesday, March 26, 2024, so we can do this today. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments, discussion?
Okay, I guess, there were some comments and discussion at the public hearing, and so I'll address the comments, which have all been incorporated. The first one is how to account for possible pay for town meeting moderator. Sorry about that today. So on page 5, item 9, G, I added in, the select board is authorized to pay a town meeting moderator from their office budget as they deem necessary for the timely and orderly conduct of town meetings.
Covers it.
Okay?
Any amount from 0 to half a bazillion.
We negotiate. The other, next item was nepotism. So if you go to page 18, up near the top, 42, conflict of interest and nepotism, C underneath that. Nepotism, the final decision of whether a person is hired or promoted shall not be made wholly by a person related to the candidate by consanguinity or affinity within the second degree. That means you can't hire your grandchild or your grandparent, and I think it might be your first cousin, but
I think so.
yeah, if necessary, a decision shall be referred to a non-related town official of equivalent department level so as to not deprive an applicant or employee of full consideration for hiring or promotion. They're a small town, so the state actually goes 4 degrees, which is really pretty deep.
Isn't that everybody in Washington County?
Yeah. Okay. The third one was change adopt to shall on the first page, and I'll do that. Page 3, right at the top. The select board and treasurer, clerk, tax collector, the road commissioner, and the fire chief shall follow this ordinance. And number 4, who pays for drug abuse programs? That's answered on page 26, number 52, CD.
Page you want, Bob?
26,
Right.
up at the top, you don't see the 52, but it's C and then B. Right at the top. So to read the whole thing, the town of Baldwin, within 30 days of receiving notice with respect to any employee who is so convicted, will take one of the following actions. And B, which is added, require such employee to participate satisfactorily in a drug abuse assistance or rehabilitation program approved for such purposes by a federal, state, or local health, law enforcement, or other appropriate agency, and I added, at the employee's expense. So that was all the comments, and that's how we addressed them. There was one other change, though, that, I read it going over, proofreading it, and it was on page, it had to do with the holidays, so it turns on, page 10 and 11. It's a number of holidays. The town of Baldwin offers the following 13 paid holidays, I had 11, to all regular full-time employees, and so, I guess I counted incorrectly. So I corrected that. That's it.
Anything else?
Nope.
Any questions, comments, clarification?
Is there anything addressing, misbehavior or, criminal behavior, as to how to deal with it?
Disciplinary action.
Okay.
17. There's a whole section on it.
Okay.
Verbal warning, written warning, suspension of 5 days, dismissal.
Okay. Great. Hello? Did somebody count the number of holidays, physically count them?
There's more on the next page.
I know, I got a 12.
Yeah, there should be 13, which is the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Is there one that's not shown listed here?
No. There needs to be something here that needs to be.
Was it the Friday after Thanksgiving?
That's listed.
That's listed as Christmas
What
Day.
page are we on now?
10 and 11.
10 and 11, bottom and top.
Yes, Juneteenth is not on there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Should be. That's not really a holiday, is it?
It is.
Yeah, is it written on this as
It's like a rain holiday, isn't it, with the state?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have it on there, though.
What do you wanna do with it, John?
We don't have it. It's a requirement.
Okay,
Um,
I think we can say that it's a typo, that it got this.
okay, and then we'll add it for the final posting.
Anybody object that it was meant to be on there, but it's a typo? It is a state holiday.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
That's why you thought it was 13.
Right.
I thought it was St. Swithin's Day we were missing. I guess not.
Okay,
Anything else? Are we ready to vote on this? Hearing no objections. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to approve the amendment to the Town of Baldwin Municipal Employees Personnel Ordinance. All those in favor? Them as opposed? Vote appears to be unanimous. Article 3, do I hear a motion to adjourn the special town meeting?
So moved. Second.
Move to second. Motion is not debatable. All those in favor of adjourning the special town meeting? Them as opposed? Are you opposed?
I'm not opposed. No, you're
You're just waving to me. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. The selectmen will do their thing now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome, you.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Better neighbors.
That's just it, next to me there. Friends,
Hmm?
your friends. See next to me.
Rob, this isn't a regular meeting, is it?
No.
Because the first
Workshop.
two, first two, read and approve the minutes.
Oh, okay, I use the selectmen's agenda.
And the consultation.
Yes.
That's the first thing I looked at, because it's like, I haven't looked at it anymore.
That'll be tough.
Yeah.
I think I did that last week.
So down to the bold print.
Okay, so the first two items we'll skip, because
It's not a meeting, it's a
it's not a regular
workshop.
meeting. Okay. Proposed revision, to agreement with the MTWCD Channel Lake Tower and proposed Cumberland County agreement.
so, I wasn't able to find the original agreement. I found the amendment that we did last year, yeah, which Dwight signed. And I moved the equipment down on the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's the fire department radio you're talking about?
Right, yeah.
When I looked at this amendment, and the agreement with Cumberland County, I think is okay.
Bob, if I can provide some background briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Baldwin's radio is on the Channel 8 tower by virtue of the conditional use permit. They have to give it to us for free forever, including the power. Cumberland County is on there out of the goodness of Channel 8's heart. Cumberland County wanted to put I guess it's a voting receiver up there. For those who don't know, that's a second receiver in the repeater system. So if a deputy is off in the willy wags in the valley, and he might not be heard on the main repeater, there's a good chance they can hear him on the Channel 8 tower, and the system votes as to which has the best signal and puts it through to dispatch. Anyway, years ago, Channel 8 got in touch with us and said, hey, Cumberland County wants to go on the tower. And we looked at the CUP and it says Baldwin radios. They don't say Cumberland County. And I said, we told them it would be nice if you would either rent them or give them space on the tower, your choice, but it's not covered by the CUP. So Channel 8 evidently, to my knowledge, has given county free free facilities on the tower as well, and that's a good thing. So that's how they're there, but we can't make them do it, and to my, at least according to the CU, the conditional use permit.
Right. And we're not trying to do that, but Cumberland County is proposing that they use, they wanna relocate our, antennas from the 500-foot to the 480 or somewhere around there.
Yep.
And then reuse the cables that we just installed last year, and use them jointly with us, and provide us some equipment at the base, or access to some equipment at the base,
Yeah.
at no cost specifically for this function of sharing. It would be for Cumberland County to, make the agreement, with anything that they need to do on the tower.
Oh, yeah.
To make this happen.
So we're doing a little bit of sharing with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess in the longer term, it will, provide us better coverage, or better, service.
Will Cumberland County take over the, service maintenance requirements?
No.
Oh, okay, damn.
So what they're going to do is, relocate, Down will continue to own the cables, but the county will relocate the cables from the 500-foot platform to the 480, and connect the county's equipment and the town's equipment to the cables in the new location. I think they are providing us a new antenna, or antennae. Agreeable to do the following: relocate the cables, connectors, decommission the town's existing VHF antenna on the tower, and return it to the town, install 2 new antennas, one VHF RX and one VHF TX, receive and transmit, I guess,
Yeah.
and connect the town equipment now located in the shelter at the tower to the new antenna. And then they will allow the town to use the following equipment: their county's power supply, their IP network for interconnect of data between the county and the town, the combiner receiver multi-coupler, the VHF RX antenna, and the VHF transmitter antenna, the time reference clock, and they will assume responsibility for maintenance for all the new equipment installed by the county as set forth in the subsection. Thereafter, each party shall remain responsible for acquiring and maintaining permission from Hearst to continue to use the tower. The agreement is effective for the useful life of the shared equipment. They'll decide to no longer share. Each party must maintain insurance for its equipment and, agree to mutual indemnification.
Bob, at the bottom of before you turn the page, it said permission from Hearst to use the tower. So can you run that by me again?
Each party shall remain responsible for acquiring and maintaining permission from Hearst to continue use of the tower for its equipment in any upgraded projects.
We don't need permission. It's in the CUP.
Yeah, but I think there is one, but there's an agreement that talks about what we're doing and where we're going to do it. So I think that's what they're, talking about.
And I can see the lawyer saying, they're
That's
smart.
why I was looking for the original agreement, but all I have is the amendment. But yeah, it's in the CUP.
Okay.
And by the way, I found the original version of that.
Oh, good. Down cellar, in the basement?
No, it's in a file in here.
Under Hearst.
It was a letter to Hearst, actually, not an attachment to the CUP, but it did have the 11 conditions, so.
Okay, good.
It all looked the same as the draft. So anyway, I think it would be safe to sign this. I think it does what we need.
Yeah.
And you did run this by the town attorney, right?
Oh, yeah. And you did read his explanation, didn't you?
Yeah.
Only the first line, that was enough.
So what Russ was talking about, it kind of went back on their responsibilities on it as far as maintaining it, you know, because he said, okay, well, if the coaxial breaks, I have to fix the coaxial if this happens.
No, coaxial remain ours. Our equipment remains ours. But there's a host of equipment that they're going to allow us to connect to,
Okay,
and the power supply that they're providing and stuff. And I think the two antennas that we mentioned, they all are responsible for that. There was, what he was originally talking about was a more substantial upgrade of equipment, and that's not happening under this.
okay.
Maybe at a later date, we'll do something.
Okay. CEO LPI position.
Yeah, I've been in touch with, actually I've got an email out to, a couple other code enforcement, the guy in Porter and, actually, reached out to the guy in Stone. Stone is really not that far away, and I found the population of Stone was like 200 and so.
Really?
So I figured I could get some kind of insight on how they do things, and they actually have an LPI and a code enforcement separate.
Oh.
So I'm assuming this LPI, probably really not that busy, you know, in lieu of where we are with the code enforcement getting done. I've done some research. I talked to Dan Valancourt, who was with Cornish, to see if he'd be interested in opening a dialogue to be employed as the LPI. Unfortunately, he's busy. He's helping Leamington a lot. The guy in Brownfield may be an option for an LPI until we can get somebody certified. We have up to a year to get somebody certified.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't get somebody for an LPI, you know, it's really not the way a town wants to go, but you just put that on the vendor as far as getting the permanent inspections and getting them to the state. It kind of relinquishes our duty on it. You know, I've delved into the MUBIC a lot, and the more I look into it, the more I just hate the whole operation, but it seems like over the years, it's slowly been implemented to the point where you gotta adopt some version. I don't know if you guys read the forwarded email from Don Kent from Paul Demers and all.
I read all of it.
Yeah, so when it comes down to the final, you know, they're trying to get a 2021 version going. Obviously, you know, a town like Baldwin, we don't want to require sprinkler systems, you know what I mean? So from what I got out of that forwarded email was, we have the option to adopt certain aspects of the movement.
Okay, because of our population is.
Because of the population, and I don't know if I got the wrong misinformation from Dawn, I mean, but you really have to, all towns need to adopt the MUBIC as of now, some version of it. Enforcement of towns over 4,000 is optional.
Yeah.
But if you don't enforce it yourselves, then you rely on a TPI, a certified public inspector. So you have to hire somebody like that to do individual inspections, and I don't think that's the route we wanna go.
Would that be like if you were selling your house or buying a house, you'd have to have it inspected, or is that?
Just anything, I mean, literally, with our population, we could go without a code enforcement. But we would have to have this license guide to enforce all of our codes.
So might as well.
So it would behoove us to have a
But
code
we don't have any
enforcement.
codes.
We don't have any codes. And that's why I kinda liked, you know, that last email, it was like, I'm gonna be looking into the threads and stuff to see what we have to adopt, you know, where we need to go with it.
Did I share with you what Hiram is using? They have 3 different codes that they use, one for plumbing, one for building, and then one for residential and one for commercial. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've got the excerpt, but I didn't bring it with me tonight, but.
Yeah, the Mubec, what it does, it incorporates 5 or 6 different books, okay? And it's, from what I understand, you know, I'm still trying to like wrap my brain around all the language, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but there's certain aspects that the town can adopt. And it seems like with that email from Paul that, you know, there's gonna be some new stuff coming up. So I don't think it's like an emergency situation right this second to jump to adopting anything until we find out what we actually have to. And how we can modify it. You know, according to that email, there's supposed to be all kinds of information coming our way. But as far as a plumbing inspector, which has been a big caveat of hiring code enforcement, you know, by law, our code enforcement has a year to get certified, and if he doesn't wanna get certified, we just have to either put it on the builder to get that certification, that plumbing certification, or hire some outside source. You know, that's why I reached out to Dan to see if he'd be willing to come over and look at. Maybe the guy from Florida, maybe the guy from Stoneham, you know? Stoneham's really not that far away, you know, for as many plumbing inspections that we have. So it might be a viable option, so I didn't know what you guys thought about, like, bringing back Gene, talking to him. You know, he seems pretty analytical in his mind. And, you know, I've known from different things that I've worked with him on, and he wanted me to quote, he has an understanding of the building industry. You know, I actually had to tell him to calm things down on that garage he was building. He wanted to go 1 foot on center. It's like, yeah, you can, but you don't have to, so that tells me.
Anyway.
Right. So I was just throwing that out there, you know, as far as. I know, you know, we advertised before. I don't know if he's technically still a candidate for the position, or do we have to go through a.
Well, if we've already interviewed the people, I think we can just go talk to them.
Bring him in again.
Cause he's definitely, you know. Intelligent enough to figure it all out. You know, he doesn't have his LPI, but from what I understand, we can work around that. If he's willing to get it, great. If he's not, then, you know, obviously be a pain in the rear end of my aspect to go get an independent guy to get my plumbing inspection, but that's kinda just the way it goes, you know? You know, we don't have one, then somebody's gotta inspect it.
I guess we should call him back in and talk to him.
Yeah. See if he's interested. Yeah, that's all I really got on that. I've been trying to delve into all the legal aspects of it, but these people that work with it every day know way more than I do with it, you know? But just in layman's terms and far as what I can understand, it's, I mean, we could just literally hire somebody that's willing to learn, and then worry about the LPI as we go. You know, and I don't even know if maybe, just to say I have a licensed plumber, is he able to do it? I don't know that, answer that question, I couldn't come up with that answer yet, you know, so. It might be easier than I think, it might be harder than I think. And I'm sure there's probably state inspectors, but if we can do it without that route, that'd be probably better, you
Yeah,
know, more,
yeah.
less state officials around,
Right.
usually
They're
is
probably
a good thing,
very available either,
so. Yeah.
No,
Right?
the reason having a discussion about the code is that several of the people interviewed said, interesting that you're hiring somebody, but you can't tell me what to inspect to, because the town doesn't have a building code.
I remember a town meeting where we voted on building code.
It's not
Now,
an
it
ordinance.
wasn't yesterday, but,
It's not
you
in
know,
an ordinance.
I mean, it's perfectly possible it got misfiled, but it's like 10 or 15 years ago. and-
Yeah, 15-ish anyway.
Yeah, the MUBIC went into effect in 2010 during the whole, Baldacci administration, and it's been amended, and, you know, just like the great state of Maine, they pass all these laws, and then it takes them 10 years to figure out how to implement them. And that's where we are now, we just got an email from Paul Demers, which is the head of all this, and he's actually getting done. But he wants to stay and, you know, at least be a liaison of sorts for information. So if it's 15 years ago, that puts it behind the MUBIC, and it's obsolete, kinda like the marijuana thing, you know what I mean? If you didn't do something by a certain date, then that's null and void, even if it was the day before.
I think what I provided you earlier was the statute, which says you're required to use the MUBIC, but towns under 4,000 are not required to enforce it.
That's where the technical language comes in, okay? So the more I look into that, was, yeah, no, we're not, we don't have to enforce it, but somebody does.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how all that is.
But
Yeah.
generally, we don't, you know, require to put in sprinklers, and I'm sure there's other.
No, that's why there'd be different versions of, like I said, it's compiled of at least 6 different books, right down from the IRC to the IBC to
Yeah,
this, that, and the other thing. So, it's a compilation of different codes that everybody implements, and it's more like a town's need and common sense to adopt
mm.
any and all of that. So,
Well, I would think we'd call in, Gene and
yeah.
see if he's interested. It'd be a learning curve, but I think several of our code enforcement officers have come with not necessarily no building experience, but limited. And I think all of them have required to get the plumbing inspector license, go through the training. And I don't know that any of them, could just take the test right away.
No bylaw years, 4 months.
Yeah. So,
And in that transition period, you know, it's always gonna be a pain in the rear end for builders and maybe us, but
mm.
it's just the way it is, you know, in this situation that we're in, so.
Have you heard of, I heard a rumor that Sebago's appointed a new CEO.
No, actually, maybe, but I actually talked to the guy that knows Mike, I can't remember his last name, but the guy from Brownfield.
No, yeah.
And he's actually doing a lot for Sebago right now.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Why? Obviously, we know why,
Yeah.
but to the extent of what he's doing, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe that's what it is.
yeah.
Jimmy, I moderate up there, and I was looking ahead to see what the issues are gonna be. I believe they have a guy who can be there by appointment half a day on Friday. And, you know, it at least fills in
Yeah.
fills in the hole a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's a contract guy from somewhere.
Ah, okay. All right. So, Robin, you want to contact Chief and, we set the date and...
Anytime after 3, 4,
4 would be awesome for me.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, but the days are getting long.
Yeah. Yeah, today it was like 4:30 and it's like, well, I gotta get home.
All right, Maine Department of Labor, final request. They're still looking for medical evaluation.
Yes, and, as of yesterday afternoon, Conservator has sent them to the fire chief's email. So he's the only one with access because of HIPAA considerations.
Oh, yeah.
So they forwarded it to him, and then he can forward it to us, the selectmen's email, and then we can forward it to the Department of Labor.
Okay.
So he'll need to consider what he's gonna do in terms of handing that over, in terms of access to whom he wants to do that. So now we just need him to, and I chatted with him yesterday, and that was the plan, so, I don't have it just yet.
Okay.
Would it help you, Robin, to, have one of us send him a request as far as, I know that you've touched bases on this multiple times, and, he's busy, everybody knows he's busy, so,
yeah.
would you want somebody like,
Go ahead.
Like the flag? I mean, it's gotta be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Harrington did stop in today, briefly, and he's out on medical leave technically. He, messaged Sarah back because she approached him on it to see if he could, as the assistant chief, gain access to the email account. And, he was gonna check to see if he had certain passwords and things and try to help out, but I don't know if that will be the case. So if you wanna CC him, I guess, in that email, or talk to him, or however you want it. So,
Just see where he's at with it, if he
One of the
needs
two.
some assistance, so.
yeah, but it's encouraging to, know that she, and I followed up to make sure that she didn't get busy and didn't, wasn't able to send it. And she said, no, she definitely confirmed that she sent the records, so they should be in that email account. So that's encouraging, because the barrier before was that the 90-day, access point on the portal had passed. So, we had to re-request them at that point because we couldn't gain access, or he couldn't clarify that, gain access to the information, through their portal. So it looks like it's one step closer to getting to us. It's just a matter of getting
Just all these little threads that are hanging out,
and hopefully that will be it.
Yeah.
That's the final thing.
Hopefully. She needed clarification on bloodborne pathogens, and, all of that training had been done and listed, all of the firefighters that had received the training. She had actually had that information right from the beginning, and we sent it twice, 2 additional times. So if it's something, and I highlighted it all and put in the email, format too, that this is what we have. So if it's something different that she's going to further clarify it, because, it's spelled out bloodborne pathogens and who took the training and so on and so forth. So it looks pretty clear to me, but if she's looking for something different, she's going to have to be a little bit more specific with us, I guess. But
Okay. Yeah, reach out to him, see what his thoughts are.
San Juan Beach attendant.
Steve Bennett, called me today, and he has, he had some medical issues that sounded like perhaps this winter, but, not too very long ago, he was involved in an accident and is requiring some additional surgery. So, he said at best, he would be able to do light duty, but is leaving it up to you all to decide, so as not to put us in a bind, to maybe, consider finding someone else. At this point, he wanted to give us notice to do that, where the beach opens up Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
Is it beneficial, Chad, to have that second person?
It does help to have a second person.
Yeah,
They can take
Yeah.
shifts.
yeah.
But it usually gets out of control sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, hopefully, with the meeting we had last week, that, if somebody comes in and doesn't have a sticker on, maybe, be less confrontational and, say, next time you come here, make sure you have a sticker, maybe that will ease things up a little bit and, yeah. I don't know, I think we ought to advertise it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think this year too, we do find somebody that maybe we'll run it by the San Juan committee, because I think they got a little upset last year that we hired somebody and didn't tell them.
The San Juan committee, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hired somebody? We didn't know, let's see, Emily and Benjamin. And reminder, planning board meeting Thursday the 16th at 7 o'clock. That's it for now.
No, there's one this Thursday, right, Joe?
Yes,
Oh, I said the 16th, right?
That's the special one.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, we,
the
that's
ninth.
right,
Oh, okay.
so the regular meeting's on the ninth.
Yeah.
It got a little confused, because initially I had them every single week per our meeting discussions, and then when I saw the special meeting, it didn't include the regular ones, because they were special, which makes sense on one hand, but it's kind of confusing too, so.
Yeah.
Then we changed it, and now we've changed it back, so it's every week.
Okay, so it'll be the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
The Tri-Town meeting's on the 13th rather than the 20th?
That might be wrong. Is that the third? It's usually the
For
third.
some reason, I was thinking of the 20th, for some reason, I could be wrong.
Did it not get moved?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the third Monday.
Still got all kinds of water down there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Still flooded.
Not flooded per se, but 4, 5, 6 inches,
So it's not gotten up to that?
No,
Yeah.
it's all
That's his-
just from the abnormal water that we've gotten, I mean.
That's what his concern was, that whole area filling in and.
Yeah, no, it's subsided, it's just all groundwater from just the way everything bellies and
That
They said you
drain's
got
plugged up.
some kind of water people were there
The
and.
last time that happened, we had a guy come in and snake it out.
He's still functioning, but there's still water there.
Okay. Nothing's gonna hurt any equipment.
No, I wouldn't think so, no.
Thing I don't understand is where does it drain to?
I know, but yeah, I mean, that seems like a
The
low
bottom of a
spot.
gravel pit.
Yeah. Yeah. But he thought it was coming coming down from behind, and it was almost like a brook running down through there. And,
Yeah, the picture you sent off. was,
yeah.
Yeah, we're nothing like that, it was just more or less, you know, along the rollers of
Yeah,
the container, so.
yeah. Okay,
It
good.
didn't sound like a emergency issue or anything at this point, so.
He didn't want to get any deeper, it's,
Mm.
I guess, you know, selectmen from Hiram had been over there previously, and they didn't really say anything. I said, geez, I don't know what you can do about this, and we'd have to wait till a meeting anyway to
Right,
make a decision.
just wear rubber boots while you're looking at your together.
Right. Joe, you got anything?
Nope.
Yeah, that was an excellent tour last week.
Well,
Patty, that-
thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Missed you.
I was in Connecticut, I went down to see my daughter, I felt bad the whole day, and literally.
I'm sure. No, I was just hoping you'd bring your father. I could show him what a real woodlot looked like.
I'm sure you'd welcome me.
Yeah.
That's another thing, we're gonna look into having that piece cut off. I think we should, we do, I think we'll have Joe there, and maybe a forester too, if he's willing.
Yeah, quite honestly, with the woods, I guess it takes a while to get there, but with an open woods like that, it's much nicer than just a bunch of brush, you know?
Yeah,
Since I do the tour with Joe, I walk up to Michael Lawyer's every day, and I look at the understory, and I analyze everything about my wood.
Just that ring you changed
Yeah.
on your bush.
No, but I mean, it's really, I got a great education from that, I really did.
you look at trees a little differently.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and Kathy, I told Kathy that, because we had one little grove of pine trees that, they're pretty good, I mean, they're pretty big, not like his, but big. And we lost dots of 2 or 3, and Kathy said they thought they would grow back. They could have if they're cedars. Well, that'd be big. That's okay. They'll start to. That's pretty interesting, I mean, all this stuff is wicked interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought the first thing we should do is have some kind of a public discussion about
The use of the land first.
use of the land, something we can schedule here in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy, got anything?
Just wanted to say thank you to your yard crew. The day after I was here last Tuesday, they came in and they cut the branches all up and made the path smooth so that they get back there to the cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
Made 3 small piles around rather than one great big one, and everything looks good, so.
Good.
Primo, thank you.
Good. Mary?
I don't, thank you for asking.
Dawn? I'm good. You're good? We don't see you here that often.
No, we like it here.
Yeah. Sandy, you got anything?
Everyone's got that.
Mariella?
I do have a question. The fire chief has given his notice, correct?
Yeah.
So, are you advertising for a new fire chief, or?
Not really at the moment. We haven't been, with everything else that's been going on.
Will you be advertising for a fire chief, and what are the qualifications that you're looking for?
Well, you'll have to go by, he or she would have to go by the standards,
State ordinance.
state ordinance, yeah.
The way it works, is that the fire department, the fire department nominates somebody.
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah, and so they haven't nominated anybody yet, and so we need to kind of jab them and get them to start the discussion. Hopefully they find somebody within the ranks that wants to, and we'll do it, so.
Now, do you look at their qualifications once they're?
Yep. If we can't find anybody, then we might, try to advertise, but we really are not structured to have a paid position other than,
The stipend that you get, they get now. Do you think that down the road that, the fire department will have at least one or two people on board 24/7? I mean, it seems, I see them coming off the hill a lot, for different things. I just,
Yeah, it's a possibility in the future, probably, we'd have to go to that, But right now, I don't see it, right now, we
oh, I realize that we're not there yet,
Yeah.
but we've got new houses coming in,
Yeah.
left and right.
I think, times are changing, that it's a good possibility. Get a new station, and that's still way down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into the new station, you have to go through the state codes, you have to go through, all the other codes, so.
Right. Anything else?
Yep.
Chad?
Don't get anything.
Robin? Nothing? Bob? Dan?
Question for Joe. The special meeting this week on the LD 2003 legislation, however you want to word it, is that more or less on the same lines as what we went through last Tuesday, or do you just, and where are you in the process as far as?
So, I'm just a mere
Mm-hmm.
participant.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Fricker is the one in charge.
Okay.
So he's the one who says what it is.
Okay. So is it to the point, I guess, I mean, I'll be there,
Great.
I've been lapsed on all, a lot of stuff, just because time constraints, this, that, and the other thing. So is it at the point, I guess, of almost submission for the town ordinance, or is there still more conversation to be had?
There's more conversation to be had. The last I heard was an expectation of it being ready by November.
Okay.
Personally, I think I want to go through it and look at it through the eyes of something we haven't been doing, in that, as I understand it, after we adopt a comprehensive plan, our ordinances must agree with the comprehensive plan. And I think we ought to go through it and look at it with those eyes rather than the eyes we have been looking at it at. It's just always this nice and pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my impression, personal impression. That's what I would like to do.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of reading on it, and there's a lot that, and it's like, some of it doesn't even really have to be implemented unless you put that comprehensive plan. And so is that maybe like the holdup of getting the LD 2003 legislation or ordinance satisfactory, waiting for the comprehensive plan? I mean, it could be a discussion on Thursday night, for
It'd be
sure.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually downloaded it a little bit. It's just food for thought, and it's just, because you've heard me say that this totally overrides the home rule authority. And the reason, this is their justification for doing it. Great state of Maine. Take so many screenshots. And from what I can say, here's Baldwin, we're not even really, unless we have a growth, unless we have certain designated areas, census designated areas, we're really not even subjected to a lot of this. But right here. So, this is like a myth and a fact from like a lawyer's page, a lawyer that really wants everybody to do this. Towns have control over their local laws, use laws now, and this would erode local control. So under the Maine Constitution, a town may act to regulate matters that are local in character to the extent they are not violative of the Constitution or general state law. When the legislator determines that a matter is of sufficient statewide concern, it is no longer local in character. So they're taking this housing crisis and saying, now it's a statewide issue, now you don't have any local control over it because, you know.
What I think would make me feel happy is that rather than look at housing in general, especially when they say affordable housing, which I'm very much afraid that becomes a term of art to push people on us. If we talked about family, because I think that's something we can all get behind, is that our family be allowed to live in town. You know, I moved here to take care of my parents. The last 10 years of their life.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Baldwin thing. And I really think that ought to be, and I'm much more interested in that than having family have affordable housing than in having somebody move here from Connecticut and have affordable housing. I don't care about them, to be honest. I do care if, you know, you can move here to take care of your family.
Right. That much, that's all I want to. You know,
Yeah.
when we age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for your information. I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate your being involved.
Yeah, no, it's just, I'm busy, so it's like, you know, now
Yep.
I'm honed into this one now. So,
Good, thank you.
Kind of hit your crawl.
oh,
So that's this Thursday, Josiah?
Joe, 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock.
isn't it?
7. Like a planning board meeting, right?
No, I think he was talking about the planning.
I'm talking about the planning board meeting.
Not comprehensive.
We're
Okay,
not
so
doing
it'll be
LD
brought up.
2002 this week.
Oh,
This
okay.
week, we're doing, Tom White, TW Enterprises,
Okay.
and Flying Squirrel,
Right.
and we'll also have Glenvale coming in.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, I've meant to
So
make
it's
it
next
to
week,
the
yeah.
comprehensive meetings, but, yeah.
It's too early in the day.
Yeah, I'll try to get, maybe it'll rain Thursday, yeah.
Supposed to.
Yeah, good.
That's a chance.
But, okay, well, thanks for the clarification on that, yeah. That's it.
Okay. All right.
We adjourn.
Second.